And away we go. It is a live version of the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com. We have unfortunately not been able to do one of these in a while, but on a day where there was, quite frankly, a lot going on, it is in the best interest of everyone to have a nice live conversation. But first, as always, visit our friends at www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get to the app. They will deliver it to you right to your front door, anywhere pretty much inside the 275 loop. And or you can get down to Dayton, Kentucky, and tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off of your order. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Chad.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right.
I was not anticipating going live tonight. I was thinking that the biggest story of the day was going to pop in the morning when UC made the announcement official, or maybe just look for something tomorrow morning. But Justin Williams drops the bomb after open records request and leads us to having many things to discuss here on this very live Nightcap. So let's start first, as people are filing in, with the first news of the day, and that was a press conference that was held this afternoon at Rheingeist in over the Rhine. I was live on hand. I parked in an area that was not marked as a loading zone, and still got a ticket for $65 for parking in a loading zone. Yeah. No marking on the curb, no signs where I parked. I double checked, and then I came out and there was a ticket for $65. So if B Fox wants to Venmo me $65 to pay for that ticket, somebody make sure he gets this clip. But they announced the first gigantic piece of news of the day, and that is the creation of Cincy Light, the first light beer done by Rheingeist, and it will be on shelves this fall, and it will be aimed at, as I talked about on the message boards last night, it will be aimed at the tailgate crowd. It will be something that I think a lot of Cincinnatians, tell that guy to get my ticket fixed. Where's he at? He's usually in here. Where's he at? I'll send a picture of it to him. Let him work on it. But big stuff for Cincy Reigns, which is the NIL collective that supports the University of Cincinnati, and the design is clean. I liked it a lot. Unfortunately, I had a lot of dad duty that I had to take care of this afternoon, and I couldn't try it. I should have, but I didn't. But soon enough.
There'll be plenty of time.
We do have a big-time guest for tomorrow night on the BCJ podcast. One of the people that was instrumental in getting the ball rolling for Cincy Light and the collaboration between Cincy Reigns and Rheingeist, and a guy that I think has a ton of great stories, and he's going to be with us for a while tomorrow, hopefully. And his name is Dustin Grutza, former UC quarterback, who was the one that introduced the founder of Rheingeist and Brian Fox, and was instrumental in getting this ball rolling. So Dustin will be with us tomorrow night at 8. So looking forward to that. But your thoughts on Cincy Light and the introduction of Cincy Reigns NIL alcoholic beverage?
First and foremost, I love the workaround. If the university is not going to put its brand on a beer, I love the workaround in getting what may actually be better than getting the university's logo on a beer and getting the athletes paid via beer.
Yay, beer!
I think it's a fantastic way for just another fundraiser without diving into the pockets of the donors, as they've been asked for a lot lately to get Big 12 ready.
Y'all
The
have
Shakeleys,
no idea on that.
the Shakeleys have been shaken down. So I think that it's very cool though that they have been able to find a workaround and get essentially a university sponsorship without the university being sponsored specifically.
Yeah.
So it's well done on behalf of all parties involved, most notably BFox and Cincy Reigns, getting their collective involved in that. And I look forward to throwing my money at another beer.
Yeah, I mean,
Who would have thought?
look, I'm a light beer guy. I know the beer snobs don't like it. I like something that's easy to drink, and it's not gonna like just annihilate me quickly. Like if I'm having some beers, I like for that to happen over a long period of time. 4.2 should fit that nicely, I think.
Yeah, the 7-8%ers are.
Yeah, you're like, you're drunk in like an hour. Like that's not for me. Like if I'm sitting out, like one of my favorite things to do is have a fire and sit by the fire and relax and drink beer. And I like that fire to go from like 7:30 to like 1 in the morning.
Well, you also want to drink a beer fast enough to where it's not getting warm. I don't like to drink like the Germans like to drink, where your beer is traditionally warm and flat.
Yeah.
I prefer it to be bubbly and cold. So I'm with you.
My beer goes in the freezer an hour before I drink it. Like I'm drinking ice cold, like borderline slushy beer.
You're on a different level. Jason says light beers are the hardest beers to make well. I guess we'll all have to find out for ourselves. So make sure you pick up as many 12 packs as you can to support the collective and the new partnership there between Rheingeist and Cincy Reigns.
So yeah, I know the craft beer snobs wanted an IPA or wanted something a little stronger, but the design, the thought process behind this is something easy, something to have at the tailgates, where everybody can, happily indulge themselves without being ridiculous. So
you don't want to be shoving 7%ers down tailgaters before they get into the game, and now you're just sloppy.
Yeah, I would hate to see fans sloppy drunk at games, right, Aaron? Like that's a terrible thing to do.
I mean, none of us have ever experienced that.
No, nobody on this show.
No.
The other thing I love, and this is a target. I can't say that this is going to be what it's going to be everywhere, but the goal is for the target price, the price point to be $12.99 for a 12-pack,
which I believe
is cans.
I believe that's the cheapest that Rheingeist has had anything.
Well, it's actually right now. My understanding is 12 packs of like Bud Light and Miller Lite are $13.99. Well, so the price point will be cheaper than the standard light beers.
Ideally, I would think that it would taste better than those, and also better than the cheaper option, which would be like your Natural Light and Keystone.
I'm sure there would have been
Bush.
Yeah, I'm sure there would have been copyright infringement issues, but it should have been Natty Light, right? NATTI. Or NATI Light.
You probably could have got away with it, but I don't know.
I don't think you could have. I don't think Coors, I don't think Anheuser-Busch would have allowed you to get away with
it. Would have been a lot. It would have been an expensive ordeal to try to get away with.
Yeah. So Cincy Light gets the message across, and the good thing is like the people around town that aren't familiar with like what exactly it is are going to see a 12-pack in their local Kroger of Cincy Light and be like, yeah, sure, let's try that. And then the money is going to go to Cincy Reigns. $2 out of every case that's sold goes to Cincy Reigns. And they're working on pricing for kegs and, things of that nature, whatever the collective will get. So Matt Lanham up here says, think an average of $100,000 to $200,000 a year. I think that's fair. I would think if it really pops, maybe a little bit more than that. But here's the thing, Aaron. I don't think the goal ultimately is how much money that Rheingeist invests in Cincy Reigns. I think what the way to look at this is you're getting advertising for Cincy Reigns and making money off of it. Mm-hmm. This is akin to me working on the radio. And it's a 3-hour advertisement for Bearcat Journal every time I'm on the radio. And they pay me to do it. Like that's kind of the light that I see this in, is it's going to, Cincy Reigns is on the can. There's going to be a code on the back that you can scan, and it'll take you directly to the Cincy Reigns website.
Nice.
People are going to be curious about that. Like, I think it is a great way to market Cincy Reigns to the donor base through different avenues than they've already explored. Not everybody is tied in every day to the internet. Not every UC fan is on Twitter, on Bearcat Journal, on YouTube, watching these shows.
Especially people who sit in the lower bowl. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Cat, what are you doing? The cat is now finally starting to be comfortable. That we didn't see her for a week. She hid for a week because of the puppy. And now every time the puppy and the big dog are up in Kelsey's room, the cat's like, is it clear? Is the coast clear? But yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea by Brian Fox and the people that run Cincy Reigns, and good on Rheingeist to jump at the opportunity and to make this something interesting. And Chelsea's right in a sense. Bud Light is, for whatever stance or whatever side you have on it, there are going to be a lot of people looking for a light beer to make the move to.
I think Bud Light right now is being boycotted by both sides. So
everybody just out of principle is boycotting.
There's no winner.
And this also, we'll see if this ever comes to fruition. Something I would love is then they come out with a regular lager and they call it Cincy Heavy. Cincy Light, Cincy Heavy.
There's plenty that they can do. I hope this is just the beginning of their relationship together. And I think it'd be cool to see where this goes, truthfully.
Yeah. So look for things. I've heard right around mid-August, late August, right in time for football season.
Sounds like a good time to have it.
Yeah. We will hear from Dustin tomorrow. Dustin tried it. Dustin Grutza, our guest on the BCJ podcast tomorrow, if you missed that part. So we'll get his opinion on it. He's friends with the CEO, so it's probably not going to be an unbiased opinion. But hopefully we'll have some here in the studios as we get closer to football season.
Tell B Fox if he wants to just ship out some cases, I'll just keep drinking them on the shows as free advertising.
That's the plan. Like, I'm working on that.
Cool.
Or, we can't, I'm not going to take I can't take sponsorship money from Cincy Reigns because we want that money to
We'll
stay there.
take beer.
I will work for beer. Like, I will do that.
Yes.
If you've got a business and you want to send me a shit ton of beer, I'll talk about it.
Great.
All right. Now that the room's full, I'm guessing we'll get to why everybody is here. Kentucky offensive lineman.
Well played.
DeAndre Buford committed to Cincinnati, picked the Bearcats over Pittsburgh. I'm kidding. We'll get to that a little bit more tomorrow night. But that is a good get, former 4-star prospect. It allows, he's listed as a tackle. He's a little short for tackle, but we'll see. Got you, Natalie. After you dropped that one last night, Natalie, I had to I had to step my game up. But yeah, we'll get. The poor kid picked a bad day to commit. No lie there. Like, good luck. Good luck breaking in this news cycle. Normally, you're like, it's a Tuesday in May. Like, we should be good, but you get the first UC connected beer, and then you get unofficial word from Justin Williams. And we've been talking about this forever and hinting at it forever. The reason I couldn't fully get into it is now clear, and the reason people jumped the gun and didn't really know what they were talking about is because for right now, the contract is with BSN, and that covers 2023-24 and 2024-25, and allows Cincinnati to be Nike branded in football and Jordan branded in basketball. Essentially, before too long, they will officially be with Jordan. They will officially be with Nike. But here's what had to happen, okay? Time was running out on what the situation was going to be for this coming season. And if they didn't get something done very, very soon, they were going to have to essentially continue the old contract that they had with BSN, which would have meant another year of Under Armour. And in order for them to make this happen for this coming season, they had to do a deal with BSN that is kind of bridging the gap. Nike right now is not fully in a position to take on new schools. They are dealing with a lot of supply chain issues. There are issues getting some stuff out to the schools that are already under their umbrella. Orders have been a little bit slow. Orders have been at times not filled. I know that from talking to some folks I know around the country that have Nike deals, as I was trying to dig and figure out exactly like what was taking so long, what was dragging this process out, especially when coaches started showing up on the road with gear on. And essentially that's what this came down to, is if they wanted to have the Nike and the Jordan branding on their uniforms for year one of the Big 12, they had to first go through BSN and allow them to continue working with Nike and Jordan to get this deal done. I think a lot of credit has to go to Wes Miller. I know he has behind the scenes,
since he knows the guy,
well, not directly. There are levels at UNC.
He's got way more indirect connections to Michael Jordan than anyone who's ever had anything to do with the CPAW logo.
Sure.
Saying.
But Wes isn't exactly on a level where he just can call Mike. And
listening to Mike talk at his Hall of Fame acceptance speech, I don't think many are.
No, that's a valid point. There's very few people that have the phone number to just call Mike. But being as connected as Wes is to North Carolina, a lot of people that swim in the same pond, if you will. And he worked really hard behind the scenes. I know John Cunningham has worked really hard behind the scenes to push forward. Once things were clear that Under Armour was not going to be the long-term partner for UC, and this is a bridge. So just understand that. I want people to know, like, there's a lot of people that are like, well, what does it mean that it's a 2-year deal with BSN? The cat got stuck in the room and now the dogs are here. That's what's going on right to my left. I know. Being a single dad is lovely. Being a single dad trying to run an on-air studio from your house just presents all kinds of fun happenings right at my feet. Anyway, So I wouldn't sweat too much the BSN stuff. From my understanding, there is going to be branded Cincinnati Nike gear, Cincinnati branded Jordan gear that'll hit the shelves this summer. Because of the short window, like these things, usually there's an 8+ month lead in to getting this all out to market. That's not obviously happening here because we're just reaching an agreement in May and they start in August. Yeah. So those are, it's going to trickle, kind of be a trickle effect as things happen.
I guess the good news with all of this is simply the fact that all of Jordan, is pretty much is available in a red, white, and black color scheme. I don't know that they really have a shoe or whether you're looking for a hoodie or t-shirt or pants. I think shorts, you name it, socks, accessories, whatever. I think that you can pretty much get anything Jordan related, which is why they initially went with the Bearcats to begin with, is the fact that you can get everything that Jordan has to offer in that same colorway that was the Chicago Bulls, which oddly is the Cincinnati Bearcats. So I think that'll be a good, if you can't get something specifically like I have been getting things that are just Jordan of late, just since we kind of had an inkling that this was going to be happening. You can get black, white, red Jordan apparel, Jordan accessories, Jordan book bags, Jordan whatever, you name it, and you can pretty much get something in that color wave. Nike, like pretty much everything, any color you want is available in Nike. So I don't foresee that being an issue. Most people have Nike shit all over anyway. But I would imagine that you probably will see more available in the Nike merchandise with Cincinnati than Jordan initially. I imagine the Nike stuff will probably be at a lower price point than the Jordan as well. But I don't know. Time will tell. And obviously it's exciting to finally be getting back to the Jordan brand and back to the Nike brand as well.
Yeah. I know this fan base. It's one of those things that they've just been dying for. Like, sure. It represented a time when UC was one of the hippest brands in college athletics, and especially in college basketball.
Yeah, they were premier school at the time when Jordan took off at the University of Cincinnati, when Huggins was here, when they were number one in the
bad boy image and
number one in the basketball polls.
Yeah. And it didn't hurt, like you said, that red, but I think more than anything, like the black with the red accent, like gave Jordan kind of a little bit more edgy type look, because the Bulls, the Bulls were red at home, white on the road.
Except for those black with the red pinstripes that Jordan finally got.
Yeah. But
towards the end of his career, and those were dope.
But I think that like there was a marketing understanding of like adding the black in with the red and white definitely changed like the marketability and the branding of the Jordan name. And Cincinnati was a big part of that. And I know fans have wanted it back forever and ever and ever.
Amen.
And now you get it. And you get Nike. Well, actually, the other cool thing that kind of was maybe buried a little bit in this, imagine if you're Katrina Merriweather right now, and women's basketball for the first time gets to wear the Jumpman. And then everybody else in the athletic department is Nike. I think long-term, a deal gets done. This, like I said, I think this is definitely a bridge. And yeah, that's going to be, if that comes out tomorrow, like, let's go. The Eichel Davis Jordan uniform unveil.
I agree.
That would be phenomenal. I don't think it'll be tomorrow. I don't think they're ready to unveil uniforms or anything of that nature.
No,
yet,
but even if that's what drops on July 1st, like I'd be totally okay if that's how you unveil the Big 12 and Jordan all at once. Like no one's seen the jersey designs until July 1st, and everything drops all at once with the Big 12 logo all over it. I think that's how you do it.
I agree. It would be pretty cool. It would be very cool. When's the Under Armour garage sale? That was a pretty cool thing they did for Adidas. I don't know if you were around for that, Aaron. When they switched from Adidas to Under Armour, they just opened up Fifth Third Arena and they took all the leftover Adidas gear they had and had a massive sale of, you could buy like official jerseys, like,
you mean all the shit that all the fans
shoes.
wanted that you couldn't actually buy in the stores?
Yeah. Anything that was left in the offices was put up for sale. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have questions, like I can do my best to answer them here. I spent a lot of time over the past couple weeks just kind of trying to get my brain around this, and there was even some stuff like I thought it was initially. My understanding, and obviously the contract said different. It was a 1-year bridge where they went through 23-24. Justin's reporting, obviously, it was a 2 that signed through 25.
Right.
But I think that can be worked around as long as BSN is included in the larger deal whenever that becomes official. And the thing with BSN is this is how a lot of this stuff is going to go now. Like, times are changing from when teams were getting $3, $4, $5, $6 million cash from shoe companies to wear their stuff. Like that's on the way out. And these warehouse, apparel outfitters are going to be a lot more involved in the new landscape of, merchandising and outfitting college teams and putting clothes on the market. That's all part of it.
So all that needs to happen now is create a list of Tupac Dre level rap artists wearing the brand.
Well, I mean, we've talked about that before. You know where that all came from, T-Win? That came from Nick Van Exel and Corey Blunt being on the Lakers and being out in those circles, hanging out with those guys. Because guess what? Every basketball player wants to be a rapper, and every rapper wants to be a basketball player.
Sounds about right.
So those guys all hung out. Like the Tupac gear that he had on, the UC gear that Tupac had on, was given to him by Corey Blunt. So they just need to get a couple guys on the Lakers, and then maybe we'll see that pop back up.
I'm fairly certain no one's surprised by that story.
Any chance the old Seapaw comes back? I highly doubt it.
Well, I think that if you were doing like a throwback of some sort,
maybe.
you can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the
they
Cincinnati lettering come back.
Yeah, and because Jordan used that Seapaw in the past, they have access to
Aaron,
it.
Ultimately, you're going into the Big 12. You want your universal brand message to be
new,
identical. Like you want it to all be the same across the board. Now you're going to have some throwback stuff and like the stuff that Home Field does, stuff like that. But I don't think overall you would see
like this Seapaw.
Yeah, you won't see that Seapaw unless it's like a throwback jersey. I don't think like on the new jerseys, I don't think you're going to see the old Seapaw because it just kind of goes against what identifying a brand is. I think they're going to want a universal Seapaw. I mean, like I love the interlocking UC, like the kind of block UC that's on the Home Field quarter zip.
It was on the one. It was on their crew neck also behind this logo.
What about the gray Bearcat? Kind of the same thing. I think at least initially, the first year or two in the Big 12, you're going to want to send out a unified message. And that makes sense. Like, but then when you get a little bit farther out, then you'll have a little bit more leeway to branch out and kind of start creating some fun stuff, incorporating the old with the new. Do I see football getting Jordan? No, I see football being Nike. I see everything but men's and women's basketball being Nike and basketball being Jordan.
What's kind of bitter, not bittersweet, that's not the word I'm looking for. Ironic, maybe, I don't know, is how badly Luke Fickell wanted this football team wearing Nike.
Oh, bad.
And he left. And he left to go to another Under Armour school.
With a long-term deal and no desire, at least for so far, to get out of that deal. That is irony at its finest. Like, Brady used to hit me up and be like, hey, like, Nike's done. We're Nike. We're Nike. It's not official yet, but we're Nike. When will the new apparel hit bookstores? I believe you'll start to see that stuff hit the bookstores this summer. It'll, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, it'll be a bit limited at first, just as design and supply catches up to a new deal.
And I think this actually puts it pretty well. The new apparel for the first year will be basic, and the better gear won't come until 24. So.
I think there will be some things that'll be not necessarily like cutting edge or anything, but I think it won't be just cookie cutter, but it'll be at least at launch. Like at launch, it's going to be, you know, a Nike polo with the logo on one side and the CPAW on the other, right? Like, I don't think right away you can expect anything extravagant, but then hopefully, you know, by the time we get around Christmas and into 2024, then you'll start to see a little bit more, well, I guess creativity might be the word.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anybody else got any questions you want to throw at us? It sucks to suck.
Tucker asks off topic, but any buzz on who we might get for the last basketball slot? Haven't been hearing much on Aziz or the North Dakota guy.
BearcatJournal.com. Like, that's where we're going to do most of the recruiting talk.
Steven says we all want the reaction video from the first time the basketball kids get their Nike warm-ups, jerseys, shoes. Basketball's not getting Nike, Steven. They're getting Jordan. So they'd be getting Jordan warm-ups, jerseys.
I think that's what he meant,
but I also want to see the reaction video.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to get rid of the triangles already, Aaron. We just
got them.
got them. We're going to have to.
I know a lot of people did not like the triangles. I liked the triangles. I thought it was something that no one else could do because no one else has a building right next to the stadium, overlooking the stadium, for God's sake, that has these architectural triangles that make up the building.
I didn't mind them, but I don't get caught up in a lot of that stuff. Like, you know, the aesthetics of things. Like, I know people were bothered because they look like lace or whatever, or it looks like that's just something you made up to be bothered about. Like, it's how you justified not liking them. It was different. It was unique. Nobody else really had it. It set Cincinnati's Under Armour brand apart from anybody else because I didn't see anybody else that had something like that was incorporated in the striping and the helmets. And I think it made UC look different, which ultimately, if you're a supplier, the goal is to stand out, is to look different than what everybody else has. So yeah, Jamal Lucas is the former basketball player that is he's the project manager for apparel at Jordan Brand. I think that's right. And yeah, he did product line manager Nike Jordan brand. Yeah, he certainly was a ally in the process. Temple had something kind of similar. I think they Under Armour tried to replicate with Temple what they had with UC. But that's what you want. You want to be the one that they're like, all right, this is sweet. So now we're going to try to make it work for other places. And then you become kind of the trendsetter. A video of Wes walking into the locker room with the new jerseys on. They'll be a little less baggy than the 90s.
I can't wait for that.
You want shorts down to your ankles, don't you?
So I want baggy to come back so bad. I don't like when you have the only option for swim trunks are shorter than the boxers I wear. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Come on, man.
Oh boy. Anybody else got questions you want to fire? There's a lot of people in this room. You guys have to have some kind of questions. We do have to get to that too. That's another.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah. UC Dayton game downtown. It is in the works. It's not finalized yet. Kind of shitty of Dayton to leak that when the deal isn't done. Because when you do that, you can piss people off that are critical and getting a deal across the finish line.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that part. But here's my understanding of this. And you know, the goal is for this to be tied to name, image, and likeness. And this is going to become a trend in basketball. I would guess football as well. But playing a neutral site game and then having that neutral site game generate sponsorship money, and the sponsorship money is aimed towards name, image, and likeness. I don't know if that's via collectives. Like, the NCAA is still ironing out like how all of this is going to look going forward. But ultimately, the goal is for these type of early season neutral site games to be connected to name, image, and likeness. So if you're wondering why UC and Dayton would play and the game would be at the Heritage Bank morgue, that's why. Arena. Sorry, Heritage Bank Arena. That's why that you would see something like this happening. Coaches are at a point now. They have to maximize every NIL opportunity that's out there because everyone else is going to. And I give Wes credit for this. This is something that is coming. And it's going to be something eventually that everybody does. And this is something I've been hearing about on the back end for probably 3 months now. And I know I've mentioned it to you in the like off the air stuff, Aaron, that they were eyeing something like this. And you want a coach that's going to be aggressive in doing whatever the NCAA allows. If they say you can do this and tie it to name, image, and likeness, you damn well better be ready to do it. Because guess what? No matter how much money you have for NIL, it's never enough.
Well, and at the end of the day, I feel like this is outside the box thinking to try and get your players money. And what have we seen under the new leadership of Brett Yormark is this conference specifically doing that no one else is doing, finding every way they can to think outside the box. And I think this lines up directly with where this conference is going. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and college sports is going. But being on the cutting edge is what Brent Yormark's vision of the Big 12 is if something new is coming, we want to be first. And this is giving Cincinnati a chance to kind of get out in front of this. And if that means I have to go to Heritage Bank and cover a game, okay, I'm not going to love it, but it's for good reasoning. And as a fan base, it is important for this fan base to show up at that game.
because if you don't, then they're not going to do it anymore because it didn't work. And I'm talking 15,000, 17,000, whatever it holds now. Get out there and support the program, because the more people that show up, the more that they look at the event and say, this is something we're going to aim to do every year. We're going to have a neutral site game at Heritage Bank, or, you know, wherever the case may be, wherever it's best suited. But
God,
the fan base needs to support it. It needs to be. Somebody joked on the message board today. Like, they could announce that UC won $1 million in the lottery, and they would be like, "Why isn't it too?" Like, just support the program. Why is that so hard for people? Why is it so hard to say, okay, the program is doing something different? They have water. It's
RC Cola. That's great.
Yeah.
I just wish somebody would buy that damn building and do something, anything with it. How it's such an eyesore on the riverbank.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, Connor. Go to the Grail pregame, go to the game, then go to Grail to celebrate the win. That's probably where we'll be. That's where you'll probably be able to find us posted up on whatever night that the game may happen. What I would say, Connor, is I believe Jamal Lucas had a big hand in getting this done, and I know Wes Miller has been working on this essentially for 2 years. Like, from the day he got here, his response was Under Armour. No. I went to North Carolina. We wear Jordan. Like, that's what we do. So this has been on the forefront of his to-do list from the day John Cunningham said, here's your contract and welcome to Cincinnati.
Good for him. Love that.
Yeah.
Other questions? I think we had. I mean, obviously, this is a chance to squash a rumor or say nothing and move along, I suppose. But is there anything to do with any coaching staff for the Dayton Flyers for why this couldn't be a home and home between the two schools?
No, I don't even know if he's still there. I'm not sure, but
I Googled it and saw his Wikipedia has not been updated with him working not for the Flyers. It says he's currently on staff. So just
he might be. I don't know that. I don't have that answer. No, it had nothing to do with it. It is strictly, this is an NIL opportunity. Dayton was a logical choice to come down and play in the game. Why? If you're trying to maximize NIL and the payouts, you know what you don't do? You don't fly a team in. You don't put them up in a hotel. You have them drive 45 minutes from Dayton to Cincinnati and play the game. Like, you minimize expenses so that you can maximize revenue.
I don't believe there's anywhere else that you could have had the game in Dayton either. I think O'Hare Arena is no longer a thing. I think that ceased to be a thing years ago.
Do they play at the Nutter Center? Is that where Dayton plays?
That's where Wright State plays.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have it there. That's what I thought. But
you're going to have it on another school's campus that has nothing to do with the two schools playing? Like, that's also...
And it's not a huge arena, right?
It's not. I mean, it's big enough to host concerts and such.
8,000, like 8,000, I think, something like that.
Maybe.
Look it up real quick what the capacity of the Nutter Center is. But you're getting a 17,000, 18,000 seat arena at Heritage Bank. And
10-4.
10-4? Yeah, there's a significant difference. No, you haven't missed anything basketball schedule related, John. That generally is late summer. A lot of that still, being worked out. Dayton plays at UD Arena. That's what I thought. But, I was asking that to cover my ass in case they played at the Nutter Center. So you couldn't do it up there. You can't do it here at Fifth Third because that would be a home game. So more details will come out as the contract gets finalized. It's one of the reasons I hate when people put out information before contracts are done, because that's how you look dumb. It's how you look dumb. Guess what? Until contracts are signed, contracts can change. And putting something out there before that means you're opening yourself up to being wrong. And I'm not a big fan of being wrong. I've been in touch with Dan Simon's people, Todd. I'm maybe hoping for a Dan Simon appearance on the BCJ pod tomorrow night, but he's a tough man to get a hold of.
There's also a lot happening on the show already with a booked guest. So.
A booked guest, but Dan Simon's not a booked guest. Dan just
I wasn't referring to him. You said that there was somebody coming on to discuss the
Dustin Grinza.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Dan's not a booked guest. Like, he's just a make an appearance type guy.
He's a busy man.
He's a busy man. He's not here for an hour. He's here for 15 minutes, and then he's got to get back to the craps table. Hera Arena. I did, I think.
I said, yeah.
Yeah, we both did.
I think, yeah.
You said it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I think it ceased to be a thing years ago.
Yeah. Would help if we go later since Dan is in Vegas. Yeah, well, we have Dustin on at 8, and then 6 o'clock Vegas time. That's when you take a nap, I think, generally, right? And then you get back up at 8, get ready, and then you're out by 10.
Because the nap is a mimosas and or Bloody Mary induced nap,
or a yard of Bacardi 151 by the pool. Not that I ever did that in Vegas.
As long as it's in slushy form, sure.
Yeah, that's what we said. Is Hera is long gone? What is wrong with you people? Are you not listening to us at all? Aaron said Hera Arena is long gone. That was the first thing he said about Hera Arena.
Goodness.
They can't do it at Hera Arena because it doesn't exist anymore. Jeez. When are the kids back on campus for summer practice again?
June.
June. Workouts, you're allowed June and July. You're allowed 8 weeks of workouts in that window. So, June. He sounded hesitant. That's fair. He did sound a little.
Fair enough.
Mason High School, not big enough. not for the plans that they have. But why can't they play at Hera Arena? I hate you guys. I hate all of you.
I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic about the apparel that may or may not drop this summer.
It's going to be out. There's going to be stuff out this summer.
I'm just not holding my breath that it's not anything more than just the word Cincinnati and a Nike check. In no specific, it's just going to be in block lettering. It's nothing. It's fancy. It's going to be instead of saying college, it's just going to say Cincinnati, and there'll be a swoosh somewhere.
Tom, we talked about Cincy Light at the beginning of the show. They did have a sampling today, but unfortunately I had dad duty until 8 o'clock tonight. So as soon as I left there, came home, had Kelsey, she had a sleepover last night and had friends here, and then had to take her to volleyball practice and bring her home from volleyball practice. And it is frowned upon to be intoxicated for those responsibilities. So I did not try because I'm not good at having a beer. Very bad at having a beer. Hey, let's go out for a beer. No, because I won't have a beer. What happened to the cookies?
We're not talking about the cookies, Natalie. Everything that could have gone wrong with the cookies went wrong with the cookies.
They got burnt. Yeah. Well, here's half of them were cooked properly. The other half, she tried to do 2 batches at once and put the second batch on the bottom shelf, and the bottom of them did not turn out. The rest of the cookie experience, that story will never be told on air. That's why Aaron went away.
Not my story to tell.
Oh, all or nothing. I like your style. Todd, you've known me for how long? You know I do not drink before games because I can't have one. If I have one, I'm like, all right, let's go. It's time to flip the switch. If I don't have any, then I'm good. We talked about the ACC stuff last night on the nightcap.
Oh, but Louisville's joined the fray today.
Yeah, Louisville has joined the fray today, and then everybody got in front of a microphone and played nice. We're good. We're committed. We've all got each other's back. We're unified. Just ask Pitt and West Virginia and some of the others.
Wake Forest.
No, I'm talking about the ones that ruined the Big East. Pitt and Syracuse, West Virginia, Louisville. Yeah. Like, ask them about getting in front of a microphone and saying everything's good. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Yeah. You can't take anything away from those guys standing in front of a mic and saying we're a unified front when there's already been talks of 7 or 8 schools meeting privately to talk about how their deals are bullshit.
Yeah, when the ADs at some of those other schools didn't get the invite to the party.
Yeah, I'm sure those guys are thrilled to see that. There's no egos from athletic directors at all. Those are all very reasonable people.
The guy from Duke is sitting there like John Travolta with his coat.
Will Smith when they moved out of the house and he's just standing there in the room like kicking at the rug.
Yep.
The Alliance 2.0. You guys created the Alliance stuff was unbelievable. The Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC were all going to work together as friends. The super friends. The Big Ten stabbed the Pac-12 in the neck.
This is somehow going to be the Big 12's fault. All of this is going to be the Big 12's fault.
That's my favorite part, is they created an alliance. They said that they were, they were BFFs, and then the first chance they had, the Big Ten stabbed them right in the neck. And the Pac-12 was like, did you see what the Big 12 did?
Yeah. Watched out for their own.
What? Right there. Just a pencil sticking out of your neck.
You got a fucking dart in your neck.
Outstanding. An alliance with nothing signed. Yeah, that always works. They did a little pinprick in their fingers and did the blood smear.
Blood brothers.
Blood brothers. Yeah, they're blood brothers.
In my experience, the best alliances for me have been the ones not signed.
Right. What'd you do earlier? My name's Paul, and that's between y'all, bro.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, it was a pinky promise. We're good, right? All 3 of us. We're in.
You got me, right?
Well, here's my favorite part about that. Like, that's a thing done between commissioners, right?
Yeah.
We've all got new commissioners. Like, of course, everybody stabbed each other in the back. I'm like, yeah, I didn't make a deal with that guy.
It's Game of Thrones, dude.
Right. Hey man, we're friends, right? Yeah. I got you.
Talk to Klykov. He's crazy.
They should do it like Survivor style. Like it should be a reality show. Like, oh, Oregon State. Oh, sorry.
It's just, I don't know. I can't tell you how much it's so nice to be in a situation where we're in the club, right? Like we're not.
Yeah, but never get comfortable. The key here is never get comfortable with any of this.
I know, but
it feels good to feel like you're on the mainland and not an island anymore.
Yeah. Not looking through binoculars.
Right.
Hey, can you read lips?
What'd he say? Is he talking about me?
He either said get bent. Anyway.
I think he said no forking shirt. That's what it looked like he said.
Oh man. I don't know.
All right, we're at almost an hour. Like, yeah, BCJ needs realignment going on forever. That's for you guys. You guys know I don't participate in any of that stuff. When big news hits, obviously we'll talk about it on these shows because it's great for content. But I don't we got the news that we needed to hear. Cincinnati was invited to the Big 12. They've accepted. And, we don't have to be in the American anymore. There's no more ECU and Tulane, Impel crap. Like we get to deal with actual universities. Cats Club might die when realignment ends. He might. Like that is his lifeblood. It wakes him up every morning. Any realignment news? I mean, there's BCJ realignment threads. Like, I used to try to change them every, 3 months. And then it was just like, you know what? Like, I'll change them if something incredibly major happens. I'll stop one and start a new one. But for the most part, man, it's just better. Nobody's going to read page 837 of the realignment thread unless you're a diehard. Isn't it about time for a new one? No, because the problem is when I start a new one, everyone freaks out. Chad knows something. Something's happening. Chad knows something. No, I don't know shit about realignment. I don't know anything. I don't ask people about it because nobody tells you the truth. Like it doesn't serve any purpose to even try to figure it out.
The people you talk to aren't the people who would be involved in those conversations.
Yeah, like I'm not hitting up President Pinto on a Tuesday night. Neville, what's up, dog? That's not happening.
Blocked.
Right. New phone, who dis?
Oh, God.
I did earlier, there were a couple questions about EYBL and Nike and what this changes. It absolutely has an impact on basketball recruiting. Mainly, that impact is you don't have to swim upstream anymore to be involved with the best kids. So for those that aren't familiar with how college basketball recruiting works, high school basketball recruiting works, the portal's a whole different deal. Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour run their own AAU circuits. And they account for probably 90%, 95% of the top 100 basketball players in college every year. You'll see 5-10 players in the independent circuits that are in the top 100. There are plenty of players that play in the independent circuits and have good college careers. But the majority of the 4-star and 5-star prospects play for one of those three circuits. The numbers show that Nike generally has about 75% of the market when it comes to the top 100. They generally have 75 of the top 100 players playing in the Nike EYBL over Adidas and Under Armour splitting the other 20-25%. And if you're not a Nike school, it's just one of the things that can really get used against you. Oh, you're going to go there and wear Under Armours? Like, you're playing in the EYBL. You get Nikes. Like, and Cincinnati in recruiting is now going to be able to say, you're going to wear Jordans. Like, your gear, everything you own, essentially, because have you ever met a college athlete? The only thing generally that they own is the gear that's issued to them by the school. So everything you wear is going to be Jordan brand. All the shoes you own are going to be Jordan brand. And that is, to kids, massively important. I know we as adults look at it and go, it's not that big a deal. But to 17-year-olds, to tell them your entire outfit is going to be Jordan?
Well, look what even the kids who have been here through the Under Armour years, when they're not like there, if they're at home or I
the
think
minute that they're not on campus,
yeah,
like contractually, they are rocking J's and they're rocking Nike, hoodies and whatever. It's like their head coach.
He was not shy about it.
No, never has been. So it's one of those things that in that world of perception matters, kids want to go to a place that the gear that they get is what they want to wear. How many kids do you think, how many 17-year-olds, Aaron, are like, man, I can't wait to get to campus and get all this Under Armour gear?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody ever said that, actually.
How many are like, man, the day I get to campus, I'm getting some J's?
Let's go.
Right. I got like 5 boxes of J's.
Any access to, I would assume you have access to whichever.
Well, I mean, and here's the other, this is another thing to think about, Aaron.
The 3s,
Aaron,
the 11s.
Hold on. I'm gonna agree with you here. Let me get what I want to say. You know what we're in, Aaron? We're in the age of players having money. So you know what they can do? They can order this stuff at wholesale with their own money if there's stuff that you see isn't like, like you said, I want a pair of retro 11s or whatever. Like I can go in and get those without having to like deal with the bullshit. I'm just going to go get me some retro 11s with my own.
Don't have to wait for a drop.
Right. So that's another thing. I didn't even think about that until you said it. The access to ordering what you want, like on the back end. And now these kids we didn't think about that ever before because they were broke. They didn't have any money.
On the other side of that, you can't get kicked off the team or the team in any trouble for selling your shoes if you don't want to wear them anymore.
Right? I bought them with my NIL money. I can do whatever I want with them. This is a good question. Do I think the shoe brand matters at all for football recruiting? Here's what I would say is it doesn't hurt. They want to be wearing Nike. They want to have access to that stuff. So, again, Adam, it goes back to, and Adam Ruther, do you think shoe brand matters at all for football recruiting? I think it helps to know that they're going to be able to go to a place that is going to supply them with Nike gear.
I wonder if they'll get, I assume that you're probably not going to be allowed, but if the players would be allowed to wear Jordan cleats.
I mean, I don't think so because I think they're like, what people don't understand is they're actually two different
contracts.
Well, they're two different companies is more. Yeah. They're not, it's not Jordan Brand is under the umbrella of Nike. Jordan Brand is pretty much its own entity. So I don't know the specific answer for that, but yeah. the fans buy beers so the players can buy J's. That's that might be the post of the night, Aaron.
I mean,
Not wrong.
Nothing that they said there was incorrect.
Not wrong at all. The fans buy beers so the players can buy J's. That's outstanding. Yeah, James White mentions the whatever shoes you want thing on every podcast that asks him about it. Which former players most excited about this move? I mean, they don't get access to any of that stuff. So, who knows? Jason Cooper, will Duke and Wake end up in the Big East? That's a question for Dan Simon. That's above my pay grade.
Tomorrow should be interesting.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to talking to it. I talked to Dustin like today for a while. He's got a lot of thoughts on NIL that I think are going to be really interesting to get into from a former player perspective.
Yeah.
He had a lot of stuff to say today along those lines that I think I was like, hey, let's not have all these conversations right now. Let's save some of this for tomorrow night when we get you on. So excited about that. Put a pin in that for me for Dan. But you better be here. You just got to be here. I don't know if Dan's going to show up tomorrow night. I don't know. We never know until all of a sudden he pops on. Like that's how it is. Dustin has been very successful post football. I didn't recognize him at first. He looks a little different. He doesn't have the flowing locks anymore. He doesn't need a headband like Aaron and Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe admitted he's wearing the headband for the same reason you're wearing the headband. He admitted that in his press conference today. Did you see that?
Because his hair is getting long?
Yeah, because he's growing his hair out. He said he was tired of the short hair. His hair is getting long. And if you're going to manage the longer hair, you got to go headband.
He's right.
So, yeah, he confirmed Aaron's philosophy on why headband.
Yep.
All right. I don't have a whole lot else. Do you?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything.
We went like 40 minutes longer than we were supposed to.
Do we get the C-paw on the butt again?
Will the Bearcat mascot make it into the Hall of Fame? As long as everyone here right now, goes to the official Bearcat Twitter, the Cincy Bearcat Twitter account. Chris, tell them what the ad is, or put the link in here for them to go vote, and we'll have 99 people right now go vote Bearcat. Thanks for the laughs. Appreciate that, Tyler. This was a fun one. Like, we haven't had one of these where we really got to just kind of. We need to do these. We need to do once a week. We got to do a live show like this. The laughs on the shows that we interact with the chat are at the highest because you guys come with the A game. You know, you get fun, and we can laugh at the jokes and chop it up, and nobody sent us any money to get their question read, which we're gonna have to change if we continue to do these. Cincy Golf, I think they had a rough back nine today. They were playing really well. There was a lightning delay that delayed the tournament for 3 hours. I think they ended up. I see your Venmo, Todd. Thank you. I think there was a little bit of a letdown, and last I saw they were in, I think, 9th. They were still in striking distance of 5th, but they're going to have a great day tomorrow to qualify for the next round. I don't
know what that means.
I don't either.
Oh, Reagan does exist.
Hey, Reagan. How about that? Where you been? Reagan, have you seen the puppy?
The
stairs.
The dunks are they're dropping the black and white dunks again on the 26th. They apparently just redrop the Nike Dunks low tops every month. Stupid. Just wait and drop more shoes.
Yeah, but the less you drop them, the more exclusive they are.
They're not that exclusive at this point. You can buy them for like $10 more than what they're selling for on drop day.
Any chance Ravon's Insta post is of the actual jersey? I haven't seen the actual jersey yet, so I cannot confirm nor deny that. She's been sad about it. So sad. You did miss it earlier, Reed. We had a lot of fun with the new offensive lineman from Kentucky that committed. We'll definitely talk about that more tomorrow night with Dave. This was primarily a Cincy Light and Nike Jordan show. That's what the people wanted to hear about. So we will get more to the football commitment from today, the transfer from Kentucky. We'll get to that tomorrow on the BCJ pod. Gotta say, you gotta manipulate the content. You gotta save some stuff for this show and focus on stuff on this show. We'll also talk about all the, we'll get Dave's take on Cincy Light. I know Dave's take on Cincy Light. Are they going to send me a bunch of it for the Simone family tailgate? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Keegan has been a great add to the staff. I think he's done. Everybody wanted more written content, right? I think Keegan's on his fourth or fifth written article since he started last week. So you're getting a lot. Xavier Henderson projected to sign here until he announces that he's coming here. It's a transfer portal, man. Until the kid says, I'm coming, I'm not comfortable one way or the other saying he's coming. You get so gun-shy, especially when kids are saying they're coming, then they go on an official visit somewhere else, and then they go somewhere else. So there was a crystal ball put in by one of the national analysts today for Xavier Henderson. I think Cincinnati is in a good place for that to happen. But until we hear from the kid, it's hard to jump out on that limb. Do I think Landers could be a late first-round draft pick? No. I think Landers' path is probably going to be find somebody that really likes him mid to late second round as a shooter, or catch on somewhere with a two-way deal and get $750,000 on a two-way deal. Did Team Tracker send the news about the Nike deal? I haven't. Let's see. Groundbreaking for new practice facility, New Mexico linebacker Deion Hunter transfers to UC.
They may be.
Butler commits to UC.
They may be waiting for the actual press release, not Justin.
Yeah.
I've timed it. That thing has over 6 minutes of updates.
Yeah, we're not going to sit here through 6 minutes of updates.
No.
But yeah, if you don't know, teamticker.com, that thing is awesome. It's very cool to have. They're a BCJ pod sponsor, but if you've got a man cave or anything UC related, not having that is a disservice to your man cave. Although I'm kind of wondering, Aaron, does it are they going to be like, man, I don't even need Bearcat Journal. I just turn on my team. I look at my team ticker when I
if they're into recruiting.
That you need it for. Are you going to talk to your team ticker? The team
or realignment
can't talk back to you.
Look, I mean, if you're into 78 pages of realignment talk.
Yeah. Has Tyler McKinley set a commitment date? No. Evan Flay, until they sign, I just assume everyone is going to Colorado. It's fair.
It's fair.
So what happens when one team has 75 spots to fill? Oh, boy. All right. It's time to get out of here. I got a little one that's getting ready to go to bed. Aaron, great job tonight. Fun stuff. My cheeks hurt from laughing so hard. Appreciate the chat. You guys were phenomenal. We will see you tomorrow night for the BCJ pod. Dustin Grutza on tap and much more of a lot of the stuff we touched on tonight. We will continue those conversations as well. That was a live nightcap. First one we've done in a while. Appreciate you guys for being here. We'll see you next time right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!